Sorry, I didn't choose this jersey. That's the biggest one that I have.
Oh, sorry, are you good now? That's as uncomfortable as it can be? No, sorry.
Just try and get this.
Straight and... Better than you.
Yeah, much better. Much better. How are you, bud? Okay. Boys? Tails? Heads? Who's calling? Heads? So you're kicking off from that side to this side. Lekker. Enjoy. Enjoy.
No, it just feels better.
I'm thinking
Robert, zoals hij. Okay, Cowboys. Captain, ready? Captain, ready? Retreat!
Numbers. Numbers.
Knock on, white, black ball. Yes. No, it was on his inside shoulder. Okay.
Let's anchor, boys, let's anchor.
Crouch! Fine! Sit! Let's take the first knock here.
Come, let's go, boys. Come, boys, first hit.
Crouch! Fine!
Good afternoon. We're going to be live again. We got Mr. Rudy Stain once again to give us a bit of a rundown of what he's up to around the world. Some of you may not have been able to listen before, but he's got some interesting things to say about a company called Sportweni. No, not 20.
No, not
Sportweni, Sportweni, Sportweni. Tell us about it, Rudy.
Yeah,
It's
Scotty.
a full arm, you've got to wait for me.
Yeah, I mean, to the listeners, Sportweni was started in 1974. I think we're the oldest sports academy of this sort in the country. And that's where Sportweni comes from. It's actually sport in Umtentweni, which is the northern suburb of Port Shepstone on the other side of the Umsumkulu River. In those years, Leon Scholes, which started Sportweni, basically had just finished his teaching diploma up in the then Transvaal area, and he moved down here and he became a teacher at this very school. And when he was here, some of his old mates from upcountry phoned him and said, listen, we want to bring down some boys for the holiday, and can you organize accommodation for us? And while you're doing that, can you do some organize some games as well? And that's basically the first groups that came down, stayed in the school hostels here at St. Natal High School. And from there, when it started getting bigger, that's where the idea came to then add on accommodation and starting different lodges and hotels in the area. So, yeah, basically that's a short history of that. As I said, Leon Scholes, actually this rugby field that we are looking at now, he was part of the guys who actually built this field in the beginning days. Yeah, from there on, it grew and grew. I think in the years that I've been involved now, about 34 years, and when I started around about in the 90s, early 90s, we were then doing the holiday over the March-April holiday was actually 5 weeks. That was, you had a Free State week, then you had 3 national weeks, and you also had a KZN week at the end of the holiday. So we did 5 weeks like this in those days, but obviously now the dates have changed and the government has made it shorter, and basically now these days we can fit in 2 5-day weeks, which allows you to do a primary school week and a high school week.
Okay, so that's with Sportweni. Now I'm going to go back because you've already gone past some dates that I had in my mind. Back before that, you've been involved in sport for quite some time yourself, and I believe you know the imitation of the voice that I did yesterday. The guy that looks at the birds in the sky and talks about your size boot.
Yeah, I, as a schoolboy, I mean, obviously was involved in many sports, and that's, I think, where the love of sport comes from. At primary school, I played, I represented Griquas at cricket, rugby, and tennis. And when I went to the high school, I also played table tennis as well for Griquas. So yeah, there's quite a bit of history, and as a matric boy, I started playing cricket for Griqualand West Senior, the senior team. And in that year, we played at the Wanderers, but that was the old Wanderers with the old roof before they changed the stadium. And yeah, in my first game playing there, things were quite new. And while batting in the middle, I actually heard this voice of Charles Fortune echoing, or I don't know if it was echoing or whether it was on the speakers of the stadium, but I could hear every shot I played. Yeah. And from there, after school, I actually had kind of enrolled at Stellenbosch University already when we played a friendly match. Griqualand West School's cricket team played against Free State, where I bumped into Evie Cronier. Hansie and his brother Franz were playing for Free State at the time, and Alan Donald as well. And I bumped into Evie Cronier, who offered me a bursary at Free State University. And quite strange, the first guy I met at the university was a guy called Todd Botha. And many of the rugby players would know Todd Botha. He's an absolute legend. All your top Free State players that became Springboks all went through his hands when they were under 20. He was the coach, and he's an absolute legend. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of months ago. But he was the one who looked after me, and he got me into the hostel there, and as over the holiday period when I arrived there, made me feel at home. And yeah, there I started my varsity career. And in my first year, I was selected to play for the Free State side.
Didn't you play? Didn't you help
13 offside.
Yeah, well, I think early on the
team of boys that were really good players.
As youngsters, I think being a lot of Afrikaans-speaking guys at varsity, I think those days the people still saw us as rugby-playing guys, and the English guys were the cricketers.
On the corner, on the end of that line.
Yeah, when I was at varsity. Funny enough, I can't remember the exact year, whether it was 87 or 88, played in SA universities, and in my team were a guy by the name of Andre Joubert, the famous fullback, and also Helga Miller was in my university cricket team.
So you've butted heads, literally.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think guys realize how good sportsmen these guys were. But I was fortunate to play with them, and I then ended up playing Free State for about 9 years, or 9 seasons, with the likes of Alan Donald, Hansie Cronier, Franklin Stevenson, Sylvester Clark had a short stunt there. Alan Lamb was in the team at one stage, the 87 season, where he broke a lot of records. Corey van Zyl, Strydom, just to mention a few of.
But back before that, there was Klav, and then there was the Pollocks. That was before your time, so they were more mentors.
It was as we started the big mean machine at the Transvaal. They were maybe at their peak or just going over their peak at that stage. But I mean, basically, if you look at the lineup, you're talking about a full international side there, with the likes of Jimmy Cook, Henry Fotheringham. 3 they might have had Alvin Kalicharan, Rui Pina, or Brian McMillan. 4 was the big G, Graham Pollock. 5, I think Clive Rice came into bat. 6 was Kevin McKenzie. And then you had Ray Jennings, Alan Curry, and I don't know, Rupert Danley. The bowlers changed quite a bit there. There was a guy called Hooper, Neil Radford in those times. So yeah, they were an awesome team. That's why they were called the Mean Machine. I mean, there were various other teams. At that stage, Kepler had just moved to Eastern Province, and they had guys like Mark Rushmere, Philip and Dave Callahan, Dave Richardson in that side. So So I think because at that stage we hadn't got back into international cricket, those guys were all playing in the, call it what we now know as the franchise league, or the top provincial side then. So the competition was very strong. It was hard cricket. You knew if you went out to bat, you got to know what you're doing when you play against these guys.
Yeah. Now let me bring it back to Sportweni. You don't do Sportweni on your own. You're somehow involved with someone who's been involved via the family, and her name is Elsa.
So I think Elsa, obviously growing up, went to St. Natal High School, and she grew up when her father obviously started Sportweni, and as they got older, I think they were working in the tuck shops and helping with the organisation. So she grew up with what we're doing now, and obviously the two of us, I believe we formed quite a big team. We basically get people in to assist us during the courses, but for the rest of the year we run the show. I think we've been lucky now from an organising point of view, because I don't think people realise, like some of the other festivals, where the festivals, a lot of them just organise the matches and the programs for the matches, where we do all the accommodation, the meals, organising of all the professional coaches that we get down to coach the various sport codes, and then we get into the programs and all the other things that needs to be arranged, like fields, medical assistance, and all of these kind of things. So yeah, it's quite a big thing. People think it's just 10 days a year, but you start in May already to start first putting the packages, negotiating with the different places of accommodation, their rates, and then putting the packages together to start advertising in May, end of May, June, for the next year, March, April holiday.
So what I remember from yesterday, no one comes to you directly. It's always the students going through the schools. The schools have the programs, and you're in support to the school to take on and do the events.
That's correct. Yeah. So we actually get a lot of phone calls from parents or individuals that phone us and say, can we be part of your academy, or can we take part in your academy? And unfortunately, what we do is it's a school team based sporting event. So we purely work with schools and their sport teams, and they would come down in the different sport codes in team format.
Yes, Mark, yes.
So if you want to have more information on that, if you go to the website is a very easy website. I can even work out what you do by looking at the website. So go to the website. It's if you just look for Sportweni, that's SPORTWENI, you'll find the website, because I found it just by doing that. But if you could give the proper
Sportweni.co.za.
Sportweni.co.za.
Yeah, I think if you do go onto the website, you'll see that the different sport codes that we offer, what time of the year. And as I said yesterday, we do cricket in June, July, because I think we got the best weather in the country for that. You can play on a normal cricket wicket. We also do golf tours during the year, and tailor-made tours for your specific need. Like we, for the last 2 or 3 years, we've had the top athletics team of Menlo Park High School that visits us in the first week in December. They bring their own coaches down. We just organize the week for them, organize the venues, and sort out the accommodation and meals, and the rest they do themselves and enjoy themselves before the December holiday. So yeah, we can basically tailor make any kind of tour that you need.
I didn't check. Is there tennis on there?
Yeah, we've looked at tennis. We have actually looked, and I remember when I actually started at Sportweni, Bob Hewitt once phoned me to do tennis. it's something we've looked at. It's just at that stage it wasn't financially viable because of the number of people playing on a certain number of courts to bring like big school groups. But it's definitely something we are looking at again to do. We've just had a soccer week as well with combined in this week, and it's also the soccer side that we're slowly hoping to grow now and getting it bigger and bigger. I think we've been fortunate. So Mr. Haps, which is now the principal here at St. Natal, we kind of met somewhere in the late 90s when he was a teacher visiting Sportweni with General Albert's primary school, and we got to know each other, and he visited Sportweni for a couple of years with his school, and he later on became the headmaster of I think Durban North College, if I'm correct, and then later on became headmaster here at St. Natal. And we were chatting one day, and he said to me he did do rugby courses in Durban, and he was thinking of doing it back here again. And I said to him, well, we are doing Sportweni. We can take hands as far as the senior rugby goes. So you'll see it's advertised as the Sportweni Vikings week. So we've taken hands in the high school rugby week, and that's something that we do together with the school, and obviously try to help them financially to try and get people down and have people staying even in the hostels, just to boost the school a bit.
Yes, well, I'm staying in one of the hostels as well, and it's very, very interesting. I'm not as young as I used to be, and the noise is, let's just say that they're really enjoying themselves on the field, and I mean, they're putting everything out on the field, and they're putting it out all night as well. It seems like they're full of energy.
Yeah, I've spoken to, I mean, we're basically in the last day now of which I think is our 53rd Sportweni week that we've been doing.
Okay.
And we're nearing, I think if I'm correct, there's about 3 games left, rugby games left. The netball's almost finished, the hockey's still playing a couple of games.
But we must decide if he's going to stay
I think
on,
we've
or
been
we're
very,
gonna...
very fortunate. I've spoken to some of the schools. They really enjoyed themselves. I think the big plus that makes us slightly different from many other events like this is that we also have some waves and a beach here, you know, so between the many matches that they play and the coaching sessions that they have, they a couple of kilos away from the beach, and they can go there maybe twice a day if they want to.
Here some of the students went, I think yesterday, to the, is it Wet and Wild Water World, some place where they do slides or something?
Yeah, on the primary school week, some of the schools that came down got in the bus. I think it was the Friday evening when the Sharks played, so they drove through for that. And on the off day, we try and give a balance to schools that do come here. We try and give a nice balance between matches played, coaching sessions, and time off to spend at the sea. So we have one full day off in the week, and they then go to the either go to the beaches, or some of them even they go to the water world down at the Wild Coast, which is about a 40-minute drive from here. Or some, like one of the schools last week, even went to Ushaka Marine World in Durban.
Okay.
And then you've got a couple of other things like Lake Eland in the area, which is definitely worthwhile. It's got one of the longest zip lines in the southern hemisphere. So yeah, there's a lot to do as well on the off day. And I think this year we were very, very fortunate with the kind of weather we had. I don't think anyone can complain about the weather. It's been really good this year. Yeah, we all obviously like a bit of rain here and there, but it can influence and hamper your program. So this year it's been good.
Well, us on the technical side, we cower away from the rain because it's going to get the cameras wet, and we have to shut down the cameras, but we've been able to keep it up and going the whole time.
Yeah.
We've had clouds swirling around us and a few drops, but all in all, it has been fantastic weather for trying to capture the best on camera for all of you that are watching. There's about 55 people online, and I think it's time for you all to put some emojis or something just to show that you're alive and not just watching with your eyes closed. But maybe in the future we'll be able to put a few other sports online as well.
I think
we'll just have to look at that.
I've spoken to one of the schools, and one of the bus drivers is actually a teacher of the school who's been to Sportweni with his rugby and cricket teams. Now, I've just spoken to him at the hockey field, and now he remembers the previous tours that he did come to visit Sportweni. And as he rightfully said, every time he comes here, especially to South Natal, he can see the progression or changes that's been made. That's been good. I mean, netball courts that's been added. Just in general, just the general look of the school facilities has improved quite a bit. And obviously, with the funding that's come in, South Natal, if you look on the, I don't know if we'll see it on the screen, I've just added some lights, and we're planning in future maybe to play a couple of games under the lights in the evening. And then something like the streaming that we're doing now, hopefully that is something that we can expand to some of the other sport codes. So this for us is maybe a bit of a test run, but I think it's been a very good run, and people are very excited about it. Yeah.
Well, I think the school's definitely going to be heading toward doing a lot more night games than that. Because these light stands towers are beautiful, and I understand they're wanting to get more lighting on those towers.
Yeah.
So if you're online, if you know anybody that wants to sponsor, get on board with supporting with income, something toward buying these lights. They're not cheap. They can't just be cheap lights. They have to be a good quality to bring out the right light on the fields, to cover the fields. But they've really started the ball rolling, so to speak. And if you want to get on board, get on board. But if you've not come to visit the school, come and visit the school. Come to one of the sporting events, because there's a lot going on here.
Yeah, I think also from Sportweni's side, I think it's worth mentioning that over the 50 years, and we all know the South Coast is it's maybe a lower income bracket than maybe the North Coast. It's an area that basically relies on tourism. There's a bit of farming. There's not a lot of industry or happening here. So it's an area that predominantly relies on tourism. And I think in that regard, Sportweni, if you look at the amount of people that we bring down every year, and it's not just the kids that comes down here, but also the parents that comes along, and the grandma and the grandfather and the brothers and the sisters, and they all need place to stay. So event like this brings a lot of financial benefits to this area. And it's something that a lot like guest houses and hotels now rely on this kind of business to do every year. So yeah, it will be great if we can get some sponsors on board to also help in uplifting the facility and the area as such.
Yeah. So it's out there. So all of you, all 55 of you that are listening, pass the word around. To any parents that you know in the school that your child is involved with, pass the word around to get them involved, get them to come and participate. And if you can, come and stay locally somewhere and participate in watching and being part of the thrill of this event.
Yeah, I think maybe something that I just need to add as well. If you look at your big festivals now, where your Greys and your Garsfontein and those play, it's festival based, it's matches. There's not necessarily, there's no coaching happening, and I think that's where Sportweni sees our niche market, is that we cater maybe for the middle school, where there's still a need for professional coaching. May it be for the teacher, that is the coach in most cases, or for the kids. In obviously 3 days that they're here, we can't change a sportsman completely, but we can give the info, especially to the coach or the teacher that's going to work with that specific child for 6 months. So I think that's where we come in, that we have got the expertise in our coaches that we bring down from all over the country. Like this year, our hockey coaches predominantly from Pretoria, Joburg area. Our netball coaches are mostly from the Free State, and they're highly experienced coaches. And they come down here and they basically give up their whole Easter holiday to be here and to actually share their knowledge and expertise with the various schools.
We had a little function the other night that was just coaches and teachers and organizers. So people that were organizing coaching that are involved with this, we all had our supper together and were able to laugh a bit and just enjoy some music in the background, eat some food together.
Yeah, I think the whole idea there is just to get to know each other. I mean, we're so busy. The programs are packed. Like the netball and hockey programs would start at 8, and on the coaching days they're busy from 8 till about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So it's a packed day. There's not a lot of time to sit and chit-chat. But I think that's the idea of a function like that, is just to mingle a bit, get to know each other. We've spoken on the phone, we've done the marketing, you've come back and applied, but maybe we still don't know what each other looks like. So that's the idea of a function like that, is just to sit, maybe get some feedback for us as organizers to see where we can improve, the likes, the dislikes, and just to share a bit of just a bit of info.
And it's good to put a face with the voice.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, some of us, I remember years ago the RTS Welkom. I think they're the school who's got the record for attending Sportweni the most years in a row, and I think that was something like 32 years that they actually visited Sportweni, and the main teacher was what we called Pete Simon, and just from getting to know each other, becoming friends, he ended up coming to my wedding. So that's the kind of bond that gets formed, and get to know people. And I mean, I still get phone calls from people that will tell me I visited Sportweni 15, 20, 30 years ago, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, it's also nice to hear those kind of things, and that they're actually now trying to get their kids and their grandkids to come on tour here.
I think being involved with the sports and just the whole organization altogether, you do start building up lifetime friends. Because when you talk about getting, the grandparents that were seeing you through, or your parents through, and then now you're seeing the younger ones through, and so you build lifetime friendships, and I think that's important.
Yeah, I think South Africa, if you just look at what sport in general has done for the country, I think that is why sport is so important. I mean, we just look at the teams playing here all over the country, and the boys mingle and they get to know each other, and we basically forget about all the problems and the high petrol prices and everything. So it's just a fun time, a nice time to relax, play some sport, and go to the beach.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to break for a minute and go straight to an advertisement. We'll be right back.
Do I have time to change it? Yeah, right. Want miskien mense wat net ag ja, dis maar net nog 'n ding. Maar as hulle presies weet dat dit is, maybe my child needs this. It's sweet, jy weet. En jy moet elke sekonde gebruik wat jy kan om die ding te stoot, jy weet. Dis waar dit werk. Sit jou nommer hier in vir my. Dan sal ek jou WhatsApp stuur. Sit jou nommer daar. Ek het jou vrou se nommer. Dit vir my nou nie. Hello, how are you?
Hey, no bell.
Can you do, can you do the next game? Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Ek stuur jou my contact. Wat jy met dit? My business card.
Ja,
Dan het jy my e-pos en alles sommer gelyk.
jy nie meer kom. Thanks.
Bel?
Is he there? Oh, I'm running my long shot. You gotta be with me on it, okay? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Didn't you see me running? What does he want? Does he want me?
He wants to know if it's right.
Okay.
No, he can't hear me.
Cappy!
Is it okay?
Cappy! Happy?
Val, eat, you gotta eat that. Okay.
Advantage over! Backwards! That's backwards!
Yeah.
Okay, we're back live again. Sorry, Rudy, I wanted to ask you questions. Are probably stupid questions. I don't know. When you talk to the coaches, what do you talk to them about? Are there new rules? Do rules change? Methods change, etc.?
Yeah, I think if we look at like netball and hockey, for instance, where we're running really intensive coaching programs, I think rugby has changed quite a bit over the years. That most of the rugby teams that come down, although we do and can offer the service, It's more a case of when there's a specific need and it's asked for, then we'll bring the coaches in. We find with the rugby that the guys have so many professional coaches at these schools now that when they come down, the need is mostly to play matches. If we go to the other sport codes like netball and hockey, and if we maybe first have a look at netball, and maybe I must break down the whole thing in that a week these days consists of basically a 5-day week. So schools would travel down. When they arrive, we normally have a teacher's function after they've had their first meal, the dinner, and where we basically would then sit with the coaches and explain the program for the week. In the case of rugby, basically it's a game a day with a break in between, 1-day break, and then another game before they leave. So the guys will get in the 5-day work, they will get three proper games where we obviously try and match strength versus strength.
But your rules do change when it comes to doing sevens and stuff like that, because you're a bit more lenient for quick play when you're doing sevens.
Yeah, we at this stage we don't do sevens per se at Sportweni, but we obviously have referees here where I think after a match specifically and in the evening, if there's maybe a discussion to have on something that happened on the field, then the teachers can or the coaches can approach the referee panel to get answers and clarity on that and maybe discuss that. But they also have a get-together here at the school in the evenings where they can actually chat about the day and ask the ref on certain calls that he has made.
And I think that if anyone is wanting to excel as a sportsman and also as a referee, if you're rubbing shoulders with other guys in the same field, then you're going to want to hear what they have to say so that you can glean from things that they're good at doing.
Yeah, I think I've obviously, having been a professional cricketer and played at the highest level, like most sportsmen, at the end of your career, you start going the coaching route. I'm a level 4 qualified cricket coach, which is the highest level you can obtain in South Africa. Obviously, I've been at a lot of coaching conferences, but I also did coaching courses for South Africa. Level 3 courses that are assisted in presenting, especially on the batting and fielding department. And as coaches, we've always said the day that you stop learning or you don't want to learn anymore, you might as well quit. Because we can always learn from other coaches or just from players. Just from looking at the game, you can learn. You can always learn. The day you stop learning, then
you stop breathing.
That's gone. Yeah, you might as well go and do something else. Yeah. We also use the word case, which stands for copy and steal everything. So whatever you see, what you can get from another coach, copy and steal it and use it. Make use of it. We can always learn from other guys. So that's basically how the rugby course is put together. If we go to the netball, we normally on the first day try and play a tournament. Obviously, you don't always know strength versus strength, but with all the coaches, then it gives them a good idea. While these tournaments are going on, they are sitting on the side making notes of what they are seeing of each team. And then day 2, we would have a full day of coaching, depending on the amount of games we play. It could even be the afternoon of day 1 that the coaching starts, where they will then, for one session, coach the whole group, and then the other session they would actually make time slots for individual teams to come in. And especially in this, they will then give feedback to the teams on what they have picked up as professional coaches, what they can see, and I wouldn't say change the team, but suggest these changes. So it's still for the coach of the school to decide whether they want to use it or not. So they would look at maybe play this player in this position, or maybe when you do that, rather do this. And then in those coaching sessions, also try and practice that specific move or whatever they've suggested in, and show them what they need to do. So yeah, and then on the last day we will get back to tournaments, but obviously there we have an idea of the strength of sides, and maybe the last day could be slightly more strength versus strength. But we also then allow, outside of those times, 4 schools that feel the need to have an extra session, to book sessions with our coaches, that they can actually, even after hours, help and assist them with whatever they need is in there.
Another maybe, well, someone told me there's no stupid question, but it's a I need to know question. Do you have a coach's manual that you refer to?
No, I think with this, I mean, obviously, I think these days coaching manuals, and it's so accessible on internet. I think these are more gut feel kind of feel what the coaches pick up in the specific teams, and I think it's that kind of knowledge that they share. I think the others, if we go more to the rule book or those kind of things, those are so accessible for people. Obviously, if we pick up, even with the referees that we use from the schools, if rule interpretations are wrong, then they would guide them in that regard.
So it's interpretation as far as the referee is concerned, but also do you try to then look at maybe the intent of the player at the time, if he's, because there's simple mistakes.
Yes, yeah.
And then there's intentional violations, anger.
I think our main focus are more on the coaching aspects, and to see how we can better the team in the short time that they are here. And that's why we also, when teams are here, we ask the coaches of the teams to be involved, not sit on the side. Be involved, listen to what our coaches say, because you're the one that's going to go back to the school and work with your team for 6 months. And I think that is more the focus that we are trying here as coaches.
I mean, what I've seen so far, because I've been down changing the microphone each time, and I'm hearing the referees talk to both of the captains, and they just pretty much lay it out. Guys, we're here to have fun. We're here to have fun, so try to have fun and stick to the rules, and we can all have fun together.
Yeah, I think in a way, I mean, and that's why we over the years have not had like a trophy handover at the end of a Sportweni. I think Sportweni for us, if you look at where we are in the season, it's a pre-season preparation for the season that lies ahead. So we feel that this is where you can actually come and try various options with your teams. Maybe you want to play the center at fly-off, maybe you want to play the fly-off at fullback. We would like to see that kind of where you try these kind of things. It's more developing your team and bonding them for the season that lies ahead, than handing over a trophy for the winning team at the end of the week. That's not what we're about. Yeah, and therefore, I mean, we've also asked, specifically in the primary school week, we had a query from one of the teachers or coaches that felt the ref kept maybe blowing a certain infringement, but the kids didn't understand. So we emphasized then to the referees that if they stop it, explain to the kids what they have actually done wrong, and that they can do it correctly the next time.
Completely missed it.
That's something that I have been able to pick up because we're listening on headphones to what the referee's saying whenever they're making corrections, etc. And I've been very impressed with the way they've done it so far. So obviously, it's spreading a good ethos within the sport.
Yeah, I think that's what we're hoping. That we want teams in the evening after they played each other to actually sit around the table and chat to each other and make some more friends. So yeah, it should be an enjoyable environment with not too much pressure, being pre-season.
And most of the referees that have been refereeing here, have you worked with them mostly individually, or?
Yeah, not me per se, but they're mostly local referees that are involved at school level in some or other way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe just getting back to the sport codes again. I mean, if we're talking hockey, we would also run programs where they are basically broken up between tournaments and coaching various techniques, defensive play, attacking play, time that they spend coaching specifically on goalie or goalkeeping. So we try and make sure that we cover all the bases that we can. Cricket, for instance, when the cricket teams come down, we try and give each team at least 3 games for the week, and the days in between we will have coaching sessions, whether it's nets, fielding, practical drill sessions, and then obviously if there's a need specifically from a school on a specific bowler that has an action problem, we would focus on that, or a technique problem that maybe causes an injury or something. So that's basically just a rundown on the various programs that we have.
If you have any questions on any of this stuff, go to the website or give a call. If you go onto the website, it gives you all the information. I mean, I'll look at the opening page, and it's home, about us, and it has netball, rugby, hockey, soccer, cricket, golf, athletics, even deals with accommodation, bookings, and contact us. So you can find all the information, and it gives a bit of a story about how they started out. But just remember, if you talk to your schools, if they don't even know about Sportweni, talk to your schools and say, hey, can we get them on board if they're not on board? Because there might be a school that doesn't have you on board.
I think what is important, if people do go to our website and you refer to the accommodation side, people will see that we offer hostel accommodation, and like for the primary schools, which I think is a steal at this year, for the 5 days with your free meals included, your matches, your coaching, medical assistance, all the areas that we have to cover, at 1,990 Rand for the whole week per child, which I think is
peanuts.
Is really, really reasonable. So if you go to the website, you'll see that we offer different levels of accommodation or standards or gradings, which starts then at the hostel at the 1990, going up to lodges, and then at your hotels, which our flagship at this stage maybe is Umtunzi Hotel, where I think still at 3,890 Rand for the whole week, staying in a hotel with 3 great meals per day, your matches, your coaching with these experienced coaches. I think the package is really, really worthwhile. And something for schools to look at.
Okay, you back on.
Folks, if you're listening and that's actually made you interested in knowing more about it, speak to your school, speak to the principals, speak to the coaches, and make sure that your kids are involved as much as you can get them involved. Because really, remember, they're only young once, and you need to get the most out of them. Thank you very much, Rudy, for spending time and educating me as an outsider, and hopefully everyone else has been able to glean from this information. And guys, just don't leave it. Do something about it. It's your children's future.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Rudy.
Backwards!
What's your time?
Step. Yeah. Like I told them, I don't give the mark because I feel like it's where the penalty must take place. Can't do that, it's already formed. Boys, I give the mark, then you go and take it there. What off? Backwards.
Sorry, those listening, we are going to update the sport in seconds from now.
Put the ball down. Put the ball down. Put the ball down. Wiki, you going to carry on or are you staying down? Well, I think let the medics, let the first aiders look at that. This is the second time. Okay, you're getting paid to be here. Be on the field when somebody gets hurt. I don't care what happens. I need a side on the field. And ignore me. Don't ignore me. Okay, don't ignore me.
Ja, Puma, man. It's out. Oh. Look up. Kelly.
Coach!
Cancel, Chad.
Bang!
Cancel, Chad.
Sit! Missed it! Got it! Got each other! Just put the ball down there.
He pulled his head, and when he fell, he couldn't come back. He was like away.
Where's the pencil? Show me. Where can you speak, boy? Where's the pencil? Where? Just open your eyes for me.
I don't know, he's not even at his I'm walking there now.
Just breathe, big boy. Just breathe, big boy.
Okay, ek dink ons vat hom af, coach.
Bump your head, boy. You think you can get up? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. You're just playing loose there, aren't you? Okay, tackle. Send tackle, please.
Take him off. Okay, open up wide. Open up. There we go.
Yes!
Are you okay? Are you okay? You can't come from here in there.
You gotta sort out man of the match, hey? You sort out man of the match.
Yes? No.
Out, out, out.
Hold on. Put the ball down. Placement form. Okay.
Yes! Yes! Down!
Okay, come here. Come here. You were picking him up. Okay, you were picking him up. There's some more, you can't lift the guy off. Okay, that's cynical. That's the third one. I said to your captain, the next one is going off with a yellow. Okay, the reason why he could go so far, he never released the ball. Okay. 5.
Please also check for punches during the
Okay, let me know. Okay. Who was it?
Excuse me, do you have pink socks on? Send your coach or your captain to come and speak to the radio. Thank you.
Welkom.
It's all my time.